Chapter 2, Lesson 1, we're going to be talking about changing decimals to fractions and changing fractions to decimals. Before we can begin, we have to review place values. They have to know their place values in order to know how to change a decimal to a fraction. So we have your ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands to the left, but the ones that they're going to be dealing with are the tenths, hundreds, and thousands on the right. If a number is in the tenths place, as a fraction, it's going to be over 10. If it's in the hundredths place, it's going to be over 100. And the thousandths will be over 1,000. So if you see the example to the left, it says 6 tenths because 0.6. The number on the left, the 0 is in the 1 spot. The 6 is in the tenth spot. So because it's in the tenths spot, we're just going to put 6 over 10 as a fraction. But we have to simplify it and reduce it. So if we reduce 6 tenths, 6 divided by 2 is 3. And 10 divided by 2 is 5. So we get 3/5. So decimals, we have 6 tenths. That'd be 6 over 10. 6 hundredths, tenths, hundredths. And this one is 6 thousandths, tenths, hundreds, thousandths. Here we have 45 hundredths because we have the 4 in the tenth spot and we have the 5 in the hundredth spot. So because it's in the hundredths spot, we're going to put 45 over 100. Once we do that, then we have to simplify it. So 45 divided by 5 and 100 divided by 5. We get 9 over 20. We cannot reduce that anymore, so your answer would just be 9/20. The next example, we have 375 thousandths because the 5 is in the thousandth spot. We always see where the last number is, and that's how we know what place value it's at. So 375 thousandths. So because it's in the thousandths, we're going to put 375 over 1,000. And then, of course, you have to reduce that. So I'm going to divide 375 and 1,000 divided by 25. I could have used 5, but that would take me a long time to keep reducing it. So 375 divided by 25 is 15. And 1,000 divided by 25 is going to be 40. I can reduce this another time by 5. And 15 divided by 5 is 3. And 40 divided by 5 is 8. So my answer would be 3/8. I'm not opposed to them using a calculator in class. If they want to bring one or use their phone calculator, that's fine. I do believe that some of the questions on the test at the end of the year, they'll be allowed to use a calculator. Let's look at a longer decimal. These problems and these numbers that they're doing, this was taught in 5th grade, so it's kind of a review for them. So some of these problems they should know how to do. But we're going to change this to a fraction. First of all, anything to the left of the decimal point is going to be the whole number in the fraction. Just 4. Your fraction is going to be the decimal. So this is 25 hundredths. So we're going to put 25 over 100. And then we're just going to reduce that. 25 divided by 25 is 1. And 100 divided by 25 is 4, because it takes 4 quarters to make $1. So that's how we get 4 and 1/4. So 4 and 25 hundredths would reduce to 4 and 1/4. Here's a little bigger problem, 9.85, or 9 and 85 hundredths. So my 9 is going to be my whole number. and 85 will be my decimal. So that's 85 hundredths. Now I just have to reduce that. I'm going to divide 85 by 5 and 1,000 by 5. I did make a mistake here. This is 85 hundredths. So 85 hundredths. Sorry about that. So I'm going to divide this by 5 and divide this by 5 to reduce it. 85 divided by 5. If you can't do that in your head, do a division problem. Take the extra step and the extra time to make sure you get it right. So 5 times 17 is 85. So 85 divided by 5 is 17. And then 100 divided by 5 is 20. So 9 and 85 hundredths as a fraction is 9 and 17 twentieths. Now we're going to change a fraction to a decimal. So we've got 9 twelfths, and we have to change that to a decimal. Now I always tell the kids that when you're changing this to a decimal, you're going to have to divide. The numerator, which is a number on top, we call him Jack. And the reason why I tell them this is because Jack is always in the box. Jack in the box. So it's going to be 9 divided by 12. Which you cannot do, so you're going to have to add a decimal point and a 0, and then place your decimal point on top before you do anything else so you don't forget it. And then 12 goes into 90 7 times. Add a 0. And 12 goes into 60 5 times. So we've got 0.75 or 75 hundredths. So 9 twelfths equals 75 hundredths. Try a couple of easy problems. We've got 7 tenths as a fraction, 7 tenths. 0 or 5 tenths as a fraction is 5 tenths, but you can reduce that. You can't reduce 7 tenths, but you can reduce 5 tenths. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 10 divided by 5 is 2, a half. Think as 0.5 as 50 cents. 50 cents is half of a dollar. These are some of the problems we'll be doing in class today. For number 6, we have 1/20. And we have to change that to a decimal. So I'm going to go, remember we call the numerator Jack. So that's going to be 1 divided by 20. 20 cannot go into 1, so we're going to add a decimal point and a 0, and then place your decimal point on top. 20 cannot go into 10, so I'm going to add another 0, and 20 can go into 100 5 times. So my answer would be either 0.05 or 0.05 or 5 hundredths. Number 8 is kind of a long one, 8 and 21/40. Just like the decimal before, anything to the left is going to be to the left of the decimal. So 8 and 21/40. So that's going to be 8 and 21/40. But this is the part right here, 21/40, that we're changing to a decimal. And 21 is going to be divided by 40. So I cannot do that, so I have to add a decimal and a 0. And 40 goes into 210, and place my decimal up on top so I don't forget about it. 3 times. It's incorrect. Try that again. 5. Add a 0, bring that down, and 40 goes into 100 2 times, which is 80. And you have 20 left. Add a 0, bring that down, and then 40 into 200 goes 5 times. So 8 and 21/40 as a decimal will be 8 and 525 thousandths. On day 2, they'll have this as a worksheet for them to do in class, possibly homework if they don't finish. The first problems are going to change from 1 through 15. They're going to change these decimals into fractions, and from 16 through 27 they're going to change these fractions into decimals. So I'll do a couple of these up top. Try number 5, 4 and 125 thousandths. So that's going to be read as 4 and 125 thousandths. I want to reduce that. So if I can reduce both of these by 25, and I'm going to get 4 sorry about that. Once I change it, I'm going to get 4 and 5/40ths. And I can reduce that. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 40 divided by 5 is 8. So number 5 will be 4 and 1/8. Okay, number 18, 9 and 2/5. So that's going to be 9 point, and then my fraction. So 2/5. Remember that 2 is Jack in the Box. So it's going to be 2 divided by 5. Add my decimal, bring my decimal point up. 5 into 2 goes 0, 5 into 20 goes 4. So that's going to go right next to the 9. So number 18 will be 9 and 4/10. I hope this video helped, and stay tuned for lesson 2.